Hey guys, I have the long-awaited Kershaw Leek review for you. When I got my new box of knives, my new order, of course I went over them all, and I had a couple people who said, I'd really be interested in seeing that new Leek. And for some reason, just as I was going through the knives, one review after another, I just kept putting the Leek off. No specific reason, just I guess bad luck for the people who wanted to see it right away. But here it is, finally. I do want to mention before I get started here that there are many versions of this Kershaw Leek. Off the top of my head, I know going way back to when it got started, you had the original Leek, model 1660. Then you had a version that had a black coating that had like a mirror polish, completely black Leek. There was a version made for Jeep, like the car company Jeep, with a different handle scales, the artwork on there. There was one that had a rainbow finish on it, anodized rainbow colored. There's one that was completely gold, not real gold, but anodized gold. Although it does look like it is, it could be real, but of course it's not. And the price reflects that. Newer versions are the S30V with the G10 handle scales, the ZDP 189 blade with the titanium handle scales, the Leek with the Damascus blade, this Leek here. So there's a whole lot of different varieties of this Leek. A lot of the Ken Onion models from Kershaw, like the Scallion, his Chive, they all have multiple different versions of the same knife. Also there's also a model called the Random Leek, which has the same handle as the Leek, but it has a different blade shape. So yeah, there's a bunch of different varieties. This one here happens to be a model KS1660CB. KS standing for Kershaw. 1660 is the model for the Leek, and the CB on the end stands for composite blade. Since this one does have that D2, the combination Sandvik 13C26 and CPM D2 blade. As you see here, all the information is on the outside of this box. Kershaw always has these nice boxes, big American flag, because if you haven't already known, Kershaw, it's an all-American knife, made in the United States of America. Major plus for a lot of people. Some people just don't like getting foreign products of any kind. For me, it doesn't really matter. If the knife's good, it's good. It doesn't really matter where it's made. But anyway, I would like to mention that this box is a little bit oversized, I would say, for this knife. In opening it up, I would imagine that they just had a bunch of these boxes left from an other model, and they just happened to use it for this this specific Leek. But of course, your knife and bag will come in these plastic bags, but I already took them out and put it in a nice little case they give you for this one. And of course, you also get your instructions, which are in there. But anyway, as you can see, the knife inside, they could have used a much smaller box for this knife, but not a big deal. It's just for storage reasons, it's a little big. But anyway, yeah, this model here comes with a nice little pouch, which is a very cool addition. Move this stuff out of the way. Alright, so you open this up. Of course, it has your Kershaw logo on the outside and kind of a faux leather type material. And then the inside is all padded. I guess looks like some kind of cotton, or maybe perhaps like a fake lamb's fur, I guess, something like that. But it's nice. It keeps your knife from being scratched up. So, in first appearance, it looks like a regular Leek, which it is. The only difference is the actual blade. And the Leek, of course, is speed assist. You have the lock on the bottom here. Just pop that over. There is a torque screw here. You can adjust the tension as far as how hard it is to move that over left and right. So that is adjustable. And then once that's clear out of the way, you can pop it open using one of the thumb studs, which is on left or right hand side, as well as the little flipper. Most people just hit the flipper. Nice and easy. Very fast opening. I like the Kershaw Speed Assist. I have a video already where I take apart a chive to show you exactly how the torsion bar works in this. Pretty interesting. But yeah, they're fast, they're slick. The blade style on this, the Leek, is very nice. It has that real acute point. Really good for puncturing, stabbing. Although it is a little bit fragile, I would say, for like an everyday carry knife. But many people do carry this all day long. They don't have a problem. I have heard, though, the ZDP 189 blades, that version of the Leek, because that steel is just so hard, it tends to be brittle, and people have had their tip snap off on that. This knife, actually, there's a bunch of people who already have reviews on it. Very good reviews, nonetheless. But this is just my version. I got the knife too, so I figure I'll have to make a review on it. Back of the blade has the model number 1660CB on top here. I know this is a little blurry for you, but underneath KAI patented. When KAI is actually the company that owns Kershaw. They own Kershaw. They own Shun kitchen knives, which are very nice, and they also own the newest division, which is zero tolerance knives. Okay, a lot of people think that Kershaw makes zero tolerance knives, but actually, in fact, KAI, the company, just owns all three of those subdivisions, or sub-companies, I guess you would say. So yeah, it's made by the same people, but it's not like Kershaw is making zero tolerance. It's more like KAI is making zero tolerance, and they happen to also make Kershaw. But anyway, the actual blade itself on the bottom here is marked CPM D2. Now, when you see steel CPM S30V stainless, CPM D2, CPM I believe stands for crucible. Well, I don't know the exact CPM, I guess crucible, metals, I guess. I don't know the exact what each letter or each initial stands for, but basically it means it's made by Crucible Steel. Crucible Steel is an American steel company that actually makes S30V and D2 specific to the knife industry. They do have their own website, which you can go to, which offhand I think it's just cruciblesteel.com, but of course you can Google it to get the exact website. And they have some good information on their website. It's just interesting to know exactly what company's making this steel. And like I said, it is an American steel manufacturer. So if you're interested in that, go check them out and see what they have to say on their site about the different metals. But again, the top portion of this blade, okay, or the gray that matches the handle, is a Sandvik 13C26. Now, if you don't know, Sandvik is just the name of the company that makes this specific steel. That's spelled S-A-N-D-V-I-K, I believe. And actually, I live in Pennsylvania, if you don't already know, and about, I would say, 40 minutes from me, there's actually a Sandvik steel mill where they actually produce steel. Of course, they don't make knives there. They just make the steel and they ship it off to the companies, which further process it into the knives. But every time I pass that, going to my grandfather's house, I always think of my Kershaws, because a lot of times they use Sandvik steels. But it's a softer steel. Okay, so the advantage of having both the D2 on the front and the Sandvik 13C26 is that you have that prolonged cutting edge. You have the good performance D2 offers for the cutting edge, being that it's a harder steel. It'll maintain its edge longer. However, the spine or the back of the knife is a little bit of softer steel, so it'll give a little bit. Okay, it'll flex a little bit more than the D2 would. So in certain situations, your knife won't not that you'd be prone to snapping at all, but it might not chip as easily. Again, you're not going to use your knife for prying or anything. I kind of brought up this issue because in a lot of different models, it's meant for that, for the functionality where you have a softer steel where it's going to give a little under tension. But I think the main reason they used it in this knife is to just bring cost down. Obviously, using just a sliver of D2 is a lot cheaper than making the whole blade out of D2. So that's probably the main reason they went with this type design. Also, it just looks really cool, and it's bonded or welded. I believe copper welded. You can't make it out in this. Actually, you know what? I'm almost at 10 minutes, but I'll grab that jeweler's loop real quick to show you. Hopefully I don't have to get to a part 2 here. But they use a little piece of copper to bind the two steels together. You can see it there, the copper line, right above the D2, the dark steel, and the Sandvik. Well, let me get this in focus. There you go. So it's pretty cool. Overall, just great knife. Really quick, I'm running out of time here. It's got a 3-inch blade, 4-inch handle, so it's 7 inches overall. And it's just a fantastic knife. This one for me is just going to be a collector's knife because it's not the perfect EDC, in my opinion. But Alright, there's my review. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks for your time.